Hello everyone and welcome to Chat with Nene Alice. If this is your first time tuning in to Chat with Nene Alice, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to send in your comments. Viewers, today I have in the studio the awesome Professor Caroline Ofovwe. I hope I called your name correctly. We have her in our midst today. Professor Ofovwe is a clinical psychologist, and she is also the founder of Relief, Renew, Restore Foundation that is registered in Nigeria. And she's here for us to have a conversation on infertility and psychology. And we're blessed to have her in our studio today. You're most welcome. Do you want to say a few words to viewers?
Thank you so much, Alice. It's such a privilege to be here. Thank you, viewers. And once more, I say thank you.
Yeah. So Professor will say a little bit about herself, and she will also lead us into why do we focus on fertility when we are talking about psychology.
Okay. Alice has actually done a perfect introduction. I work at Sierra Leone Psychiatric Teaching Hospital, where I render psychological services to all and sundry, so to say, children, men, women, young and old. And it actually would be curious to say why focus on infertility when infertility is not what is managed primarily at the Sierra Leone Psychiatric Teaching Hospital. My interest in infertility goes back a long way and is prompted by a number of reasons: academic, social, sociocultural, psychological, and on indeed. On the academic front, my PhD thesis 16 years back was on the psychological effect of infertility in women. So infertility has quite a lot of angles to it. Sociologically, it's so harsh on women when they don't have children, and psychologically, it can actually be traumatic. Having witnessed infertility in very close quarters, it becomes something I'm actually interested in. But very importantly, I'm interested in infertility because I am a woman and I can feel what infertility brings to the table at a deeper level.
Okay, Professor, thank you for letting us into that. But before we get into a deeper conversation on infertility and psychology, can you please let viewers know what is fertility?
Okay.
Maybe if you can even break it down into small pidgin, small griot, so that we understand it a bit.
Okay. Infertility is defined as the inability or failure to establish a clinical pregnancy after 12 months, that is 1 year, of regular unprotected sexual intercourse. What that means is that when people have sex regularly for 1 year and they don't have children, the woman doesn't get pregnant, pregnancy is not established, then that becomes a case of infertility.
Yeah. And
infertility, I must add, is a global problem. It is a crisis situation because it's about 8 to 12% of persons in childbearing populations have infertility to contend with as a problem.
So, Professor, most of the time when we talk about infertility, it's just associated with women. Does infertility affect men as well?
Oh, definitely. When we talk about infertility, the cause could come from either the man or the woman. But then, very often, the woman bears the brunt more. Infertility generally affects a couple in different ways. It can increase depression, it can increase anxiety, it can increase panic attacks, and bring down mental health issues. Bring about mental health issues. The person would not be happy, the person would be anxious, the person might not be able to sleep. A lot of issues are linked to infertility.
Yeah, so that's why I
psychologically.
wanted to ask you. Yes, we have ascertained the fact that infertility affects men as well. So it's not just limited to women. But then, what is the link between infertility and psychology? How does infertility affect a woman's psychology or a man's psychology?
Good. Yes, I said infertility affects the couple psychologically in a number of ways. It brings about depression, it brings about isolation, it brings about a feeling of feeling less, purposelessness, and this is not unrelated to the social expectations. When people get married, even from the wedding reception, there's almost a mandate. In 9 months we are coming to carry baby. So there's some form of pressure, and after 1 year, if there isn't a baby, everyone is looking more at the woman than the man, even though the man could be the cause. And as you've rightly asked, there's a lot of psychological implications in infertility for the couple. Yeah, does that answer the question?
Yes, it does. So, in this part of the world, why do women have to bear the brunt of infertility? Because, like you've just said, even during wedding ceremonies or during, family meetings, people keep asking you, when are we coming for our grandchild, or when are we expecting our niece, or when are we expecting our nephew? These are critical things, and most of the time it has to do with the women. It's the women that they ask the question. So why do we mostly bear the brunt of that?
That's an interesting question, and really infertility is linked to a lot of stigma. And if the woman bears the brunt more because she is more stigmatized for not having a child. And this is because womanhood is erroneously linked, equated with motherhood. It assumes that the woman must have a child. And when a woman doesn't have a child yet, she has a lot to contend with. If you watch movies, you see families where there isn't a child. The man goes almost scot-free. It's the woman who has to contend with her mother-in-law, with everyone that comes her path, colleagues at work and all. And as you've asked, the woman bears the brunt more psychologically. The woman who is struggling with infertility usually feels purposeless, feels hopeless, goes through a lot of reproach, rebuke, and even abuse in the hand of charlatans, because she can sell or give all she has with the expectation that she will have a child and she can move from place to place, running from post to pillar. But interestingly, the man could be the cause in this situation, but they rarely come up for medical evaluation. The woman is often the one who is pointed at. The woman is the one who is looked at. So the men should actually come forth, because from this conversation, we have actually seen infertility is not totally a woman's issue.
Yeah. So do you think we need to enhance more studies around fertility and its links with psychology? Just drawing from some of the things that you have said, that society, it has societal impact, there are lots of stigma. So you think we need to have more studies on that?
Yes, we need to have more studies. Existing studies already show that there's so much stigma, social-cultural stigma, that go with infertility. In some places, a woman who doesn't have a child has a particular name that she's called in reproach, in stigma, and also we need studies and avenues, platforms for awareness, advocacy, awareness, enlightenment, where people know that womanhood is not necessarily motherhood. A woman is still a woman, and she can attain the best she can with her in her lifetime, even if she isn't a biological mother to a specific child. And by the way, every woman is a mother, really.
Yeah, every woman is a mother. And you know, Professor Caroline has been able to take us through some of the ways we feel as women when we do not have child. There is self-stigma and there is societal stigma. And we have experienced that in communities. We have seen it firsthand, how people have been called barren, how people have been molested because they don't have a child. And she has just said every woman is a mother. And even in Sierra Leone, most of the time they say not so uda born, na uda men. So even at that, you can have child in various ways. And now there are interesting ways to have children. I don't know if you want to share two of those.
Yes, and really, a child is not, it needn't be from you biologically entirely. There are other ways you could adopt. And now we have IVF, which is a technical method of having conception achieved. And there are quite a number of ways that you can be a foster parent, you can adopt, and surrogacy, excuse me, where some other woman can carry go through the pregnancy for you is also available. So there are actually several options available right now. Yeah.
And you know, Professor, you've really opened my mind in this conversation, and I cannot stop. But let's talk about one more thing. Is there prevention? Is there treatment? That I know you're not a medical doctor, but I know you've been in the field of, you've interacted with medical doctors, and you've had clients who you have referred to medical doctors. So do you want to share one of those feedbacks that they have said, this is the way we can treat it, or this is the way we can prevent it?
Yeah, not being a medical doctor does not limit the place of sharing when it comes to infertility. Because infertility as it is has a lot of psychological implications. So if we have to say the way forward, Alice,
the way forward,
the question. So the way forward, first and foremost, is seeking treatment. Seeking clinical treatment from professionals. What we have seen from our studies reflects that a little thing like infection can stop a woman from having children. But when that infection is not treated, when and how it should be treated, a number of things can go wrong. So where should she go for her treatment? Every woman should assess proper professional care, preferably see a gynecologist who is a specialist in infertility issues for even the man and the woman. But psychologically, that carries quite a big one. And as a psychologist, I will say mental health is health. If there's no mental health, there's no health. Health is mental health, mental health is health. So in that regard, how do you protect your mental health? I would start by using what is referred to as an ABC model. Two women could be looking for, wishing they had a child. Person A might be so distressed because of her beliefs, and person B might not be. For instance, person A might say, if I don't have a child, I'm done for, I'm lost, I'm as good as nothing. Person B might say, not having a child doesn't deprive me of being a human being. Alice, what do you think? Who do you think would fare better?
Person B.
Person B. So what this means is that our belief system matters on how infertility impacts the woman. I'm trying to hone down on the psychological effect on women. And a few tips I would like to drop before we close the curtain today. One is adaptive thinking. At times when our thinking is wrong, our feelings and our behavior would also be wrong. For instance, if a woman feels, I am no good as I've said previously, then her attitude would also be maladaptive. And then she could entertain irrational thoughts of the only way I can be accepted in my community is if I have blah 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 number of children, which is not so. So women must consider how they think and what they think about. Some form of thinking is wrong and is irrational. Secondly, I would talk about relaxation. Women must learn to relax, because when you are fully relaxed, your body works in tandem with you. But when you are under tension, your body works against you, so to say. And relaxation is something you can even learn to do on your own by practicing relaxation modes. You can learn to breathe in and out on your own and ensure you are relaxed. And another tip I still like to drop is strengthening your self-esteem. You know, even if the children come, and when they come, they would not be with you forever. So you must strengthen your self-esteem. What do you do? Are you a businesswoman? Are you a student? Wherever you are, run with your dream. If the children come along, beautiful. However the journey goes, don't leave yourself unattended. That shows lack of self-compassion. And finally, you must practice gratitude. There's always something to be thankful for. Always something to be thankful for. At this moment, I'm thankful Alice is here with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. And you know, tips that you've dropped are very much useful to all of us. Don't leave yourself unattended. There are so many ways to relax. You can take a long walk, you can exercise, you can breathe in, breathe out, and you can also, you know, hang out with friends, you know, and have very good conversation. And lastly, learn to be grateful. And that's what I want to use to draw down the curtains for today. And it's been a pleasure talking with Professor Caroline. And this is just the beginning of our conversation. We'll have more and more as time goes on. Thank you. And viewers, if this is your first time tuning in to Chat with Nene Alice, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to send in your comments. Thanks a lot, and have a pleasant day.